Greetings, royal family, and welcome to another message by the Honorable Yud-Hey-Wav-Hey, Beit Nun Sophie, Yud-Hey-Wav-Hey. Now, royal family, this message was taught many years ago by the Honorable Yud-Hey-Wav-Hey and is being presented to you today by Yahweh's royal priesthood. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Visit us at Yahweh's royal priesthood, www.yahweh144000.com. And also, royal family, join us at the University of Yahweh, where classes are designed for the Godhead. Visit us at www.universityofyahweh.org. Also, royal family, listen to our weekly podcasts by the University of Yahweh, found on most podcast platforms. We look forward to you being there as well. Enjoy, royal family.
Well, we're getting a lot of law today. A deep understanding of the law. Deuteronomy 5:12. Read.
Keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it, as the Lord thy God Yahweh hath commanded thee.
We found that to sanctify is something within our power. Sanctification is something that we choose to do. It's what we choose to do. Would someone come to the microphone back in the middle and read to us Sanctify? I think a lot of people went to church and they called it a sanctified church and didn't know what they were saying. Some people said, I'm sanctified. And I don't think they know what they were saying either. All right, son.
Sanctify. To reserve for sacred use.
To reserve for sacred use. Well, you mean I don't have to go snot and foam at the mouth to do that? Okay.
Consecrate.
Consecrate. See, I don't think you looked that word up either. If you had understood that this is what sanctification meant, you could have been intelligent about the matter. But we were taught to be foolish. I feel so bad, just having come up ignorant like that. It just hurts my heart. I feel terrible. How many feel bad? I mean, it just makes you feel bad that you could be run a game on like this. Consecrate it. To consecrate yourself. Read on.
To make holy.
See? To sanctify, it didn't say go and get holy. There's that big word. Boy, if you studied make holy, you'd be in my management class. I've been teaching on make for the last 3 weeks. And we have years to go yet. You don't have any idea what it means to make yourself holy. You can't go snot somewhere and get holy. I went to the church last night and I came back home sanctified. I am now sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost and dead with fire. Weren't we pitiful? And our people who still believe like that are pitiful. Because they don't have the intelligence of this. To sanctify is to make yourself holy. If you say, I'm sanctified, you're saying, I made myself holy. And if I say, well, what do you mean by that? You ask people in Christianity, well, what do you mean you make yourself holy? Child, I just went down there and they told me to come on down to the altar. And they had me down there clapping my hands and hollering. And all of a sudden I began to jerk and I started to cry, thinking about all those sinful things I used to do. And was doing when I went last night too. So when I got through, they told me I was sanctified. I got up and I testified and told them I'm sorry for all the sins I've done. I ain't gonna sin no more. The things I used to do, I feel a change. You have no sense, but you felt a change. You ever notice that everybody that got saved and sanctified was out back doing what everybody else was doing next week? But they didn't get very sanctimonious, did they? Then they tell you backslid. How can you slide back from something you never got to? You never got to the point to make yourself holy. It's going to blow your mind for just a little bit. Go ahead.
Purify.
Purify yourself. That's what Leviticus 11:44 says. Sanctify yourself. That means you have to purify your mind. And you cannot, how many can see to purify oneself is impossible to go down and stand in front of some so-called altar and smart and come back purified. You don't know anymore after you came back than you did when you went. How can you be purified? You don't know what the word means. Read on.
To give religious sanction to, as with an oath, sanctify marriage. To cause a practice, for example, to piously observe or revered. To make productive of holiness or blessing. That's it.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's more than what you think it is. It said to make. Go back in the beginning. Read.
To reserve for sacred use.
To reserve yourself for sacred use. You don't know what sacred means. Read on.
To make holy.
To make holy. Look up the word holy.
Holy.
Some belong to the holiness church and have never known what holy is. And use the term, without holiness, no man shall see God. Without holiness, you must be holy. And don't know what in the world it means. Well, let's learn for the first time in our life. Read.
Holy. Belonging to, derived from, or high esteem.
Belonging to. You didn't know what? Yahweh. Belonging to Yahweh. Derived from. You come from Yahweh. You can't be holy unless you come from Yahweh. If you don't come from Yahweh, if you're not Yahweh's seed, you cannot be holy. It is, I don't care who you are. That means no nation on earth can be holy but Israel. Because only Israel comes from Yahweh. So no other nation on the planet earth can be holy but us. Now that's the first law that you have to understand. Only the so-called black man of America, the children of Israel, can be holy. Nobody else can be. You don't even have it within you. It's not in your genes and chromosomes to be holy. But when you're Israel, it's in your genes and chromosomes to be holy. And when you are Judah of Israel, it's in your genes and chromosomes to be superior. And have a superior power of mind. It's in your genes and chromosomes. Holy, read on, son.
Holy, belonging to, derived from, or associated with a divine power.
A divine power. How about the divine power? Associated with, there's that word, divine power. I told you you were born with divine intelligence, superior power of mind, didn't I? See? To be holy is to be associated with the divine power. Who is Yahweh himself? You know.
Sacred.
Sacred, there's that word again.
Worthy of worship.
Wait. Worthy of worship.
Yes, sir.
To be holy is to be worthy of worship. Therefore, all nations shall come and worship at our feet. Judah, you are worthy to be worshipped. And you are so holy when you keep Yahweh's law that they must worship at your feet. I don't have any problem knowing I am worthy to be worshipped, because I'm associated with divine power, Yahweh. That makes me worthy of being worshipped. Oh, it's a new slot of knowledge, huh? And we make everybody on earth worship who? Yahweh. Because we worship who? Yahweh. And because they can't see Yahweh, who do they have to worship? Us. I like that order. You should be so happy to find this out. You should be delirious. Delirious out of your mind. Your problem is you don't feel worthy. Because you violated Psalm 19:7, see? But when you become a keeper of the law with understanding, you will understand that Judah is worthy to be worshipped. That's why Yahweh said, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. And so since we're the only ones that he'll allow to see him, that makes us associated with him. We're associated with Yahweh. We were Yahweh associates. We sat down and had dinner with him. We had lunch with him. Associated with Yahweh. So all the nations were jealous, are jealous. So Yahweh establishes an order. His order is awesome. It's just absolutely awesome. Praise Yahweh. Not going to be awesome, it is awesome. To understand this fact. as here, holy, characterized by perfection and transcendence, commanding absolute adoration and reverence, spiritually pure, being awesome, frightening, or beyond belief. And Yahweh told us, be holy. He said, be awesome, be frightening, be beyond belief. I hope you notice that Yahweh has us on a course bringing out His nature and our nature, the power of our mind in Yahweh. I hope you notice. Leviticus 11:44 said, be holy, like I am holy, for I am holy. You be holy. That's a mighty powerful scripture. Be awesome, because I'm awesome. Be frightening, because I am frightening. Be beyond belief, because I am beyond belief. Be devastating, because I am devastating. Be a creator, because I am the creator. Have you not heard that you are God? This is what the white man has never wanted you to find. And I believe you've been following my teachings long enough for me to bring this out to you. I've been a long time holding my peace on this. While black people are running around trying to integrate with white people and trying to make white people love them and trying to show how nonviolent they are, we're going to be running around showing how awesome we are. See, as long as we do not know we are supposed to be awesome, we'll sit back and say, let Yahweh be awesome. We'll sit back with a spook mentality and say, only Yahweh is awesome. But we forgot that He said, be perfect like He is, be holy like He is. We didn't know what it meant, and we went to some church and let them put us in a trick. If you went into a house of holiness, you should have understood what it meant. I didn't know I was supposed to be awesome, frightening, beyond belief. Now I want somebody to tell me what awesome is, son. Give me awesome. Since I'm supposed to be awesome, I want to understand what I'm supposed to be like. When Yahweh doesn't call you, so you can't understand that this is high above the ordinary man. So we learned it in here today is wisdom high above. If you're not careful, you'll sit in here and still miss it. You can't accuse me of not teaching you. You just might want to miss it, but I'm teaching you. The way you're clapping, I'm beginning to think you might be beginning to understand. Understand that you're somebody special. That you're not an ordinary human being. that you are a special being. That your being is divine. That we are divine beings. Okay, awesome.
Awesome. Inspiring awe. Expression characterized by awe.
Turn to awe first, then we come to awe.
Awe. An emotion of mingled reverence, dread.
What kind of reverence?
Mingled.
Oh, all right.
An emotion of mingled reverence, dread.
Dread. But we can't go past that till we find out what dread is. Dread. Then I read the dread of thee. See, to be holy is to have dread going forth before you. Deuteronomy 2 what? 25. Come on, let's turn to Deuteronomy 2:25. To be holy is to have dread of yourself going before you. People are supposed to say, I'm scared of you. I'm scared of y'all. That's what they're supposed to say. Dread, read it.
Dread. To be in terror of.
To be in terror of. You went in the church and got holy in the holiness church and got holy, sanctified church, and thought you got sanctified, and ain't nobody having no terror of you. You go in there and have terror of everybody else. You come out of there terrified. Instead of sanctified, you are terrified. Read Deuteronomy 2:25. Read.
This day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven, who shall hear report of thee, and shall tremble and be in anguish because of thee.
Holiness. Now that's holiness. Now that's being holy. When the fear of us and the dread of us go up on all the nations of the earth, when they just hear about us, that's holy. Supposed to be terrified. There's nobody on the planet Earth teaching like this. There's only one teaching like this. On the whole planet Earth, there's not another. If there's another, bring it to me. I want to meet him. Terrified. When people look at us and feel terror in their heart. See, you don't know what they be feeling. They're not lying when they tell you they're scared. They're supposed to be scared. That means don't make us mad. Don't make us mad. We're associated with Yahweh. To make us mad is to make Yahweh mad. We're associated with Yahweh. See what being holy means?